On Monday, California Governor Jerry Brown signed a new law that allows transgender students in grades K through 12 to be able to use any school bathroom, boys or girls, that they feel most comfortable in. Now, the law also lets transgender students choose whether they want to play on the boys or girls sports teams and share locker rooms with athletes of the opposite sex. Supporters of the law say it'll help reduce bullying and discrimination against transgenders in school. Karen England is the executive director of the Capital Resource Institute. It's an independent, pro-family, public policy organization in California. They led the successful effort to stop mandatory HPV vaccinations and much more. Karen, thanks so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Governor.
The basis upon which this law was passed and signed by the governor was that it would help to stem the tide of bullying. I'm having a hard time thinking back on my school days that a biological boy going into the girls' restroom would be less subject to being ridiculed and bullied than not. So what is really the basis of this?
Well, absolutely. I mean, what they really want to do is just blur the genders together. You know, we currently have law that does take care of those very rare exceptions of those students who are struggling with their gender identity. And so current law is sufficient, but this is very extreme, very radical, that they are going to let boys wake up one day, decide that they're girls, and let them have access to our restrooms and our locker rooms in all of our public schools in California. This is for kindergartners as well as high schoolers.
And one of the things about the law, it does not really provide for the student to have to provide a note from a doctor, a psychologist, even a parent. So if the child says, you know what, today a boy walks in and says, I really am feeling my girl's side, he gets to go shower with the girls when he's 14. I mean, I'm just thinking of all the 14-year-old boys I went to school with and how many of them would have, awakened with that revelation.
Well, Governor, I often say that boys have always wanted to get into the girls' locker room, and now we've legalized it in California. So it is just absolutely crazy. There's no process they have to go through to show their gender identity. Like you said, they wake up one day, decide what their identity is, and then the sports team, locker rooms, PE classes, they have access to that without any sort of backup that this is an issue that they're taking seriously.
And Karen, I don't want to be insensitive to some child who really may be confused and have some issues going on, but this blanket kind of law in California is, frankly, the most irrational approach to this that I've ever heard. And my question, what can you do about it? And are you doing anything about it?
We are not going to, most people that ran for office, actually, I don't know any that campaigned on letting boys into girls' locker rooms and restrooms. And so what we have done is filed a referendum in California to stop this law from taking place and let the people vote on this. California parents do not want this kind of craziness going in, and that creates a very unsafe environment for all students. So we've started an organization, and your viewers can go to privacyforallstudents.com, and that is where they can get involved in this referendum process. We have a very short period of time to collect a very large amount of signatures, and we're going to need everyone to partner with us to get this done.
Karen, I really appreciate you being here and giving us a perspective firsthand from California. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Governor.